Welcome back to the Legal Brief, the show where we crush the various legal myths and misinformation surrounding various areas of the gun world. I'm your host, Adam Kraut, and today we're heading on up to the Live Free or Die state to put a spotlight on some recent anti-gun legislation. SB Tactical, the originator of the pistol stabilizing brace, set the bar for innovation and product development in the PDW pistol category. From the insanely popular SB-M4 to the adjustable SB-A3 and even kits for pump-action firearms, SB Tactical braces are available for a wide variety of firearm platforms in fixed, adjustable, and side-folding models. To get 15% off your legally transported and carried pistol braces, use the code TGC15 over at sb-tactical.com. New Hampshire State Senate is considering 3 anti-gun bills that were sent to it by the House of Representatives. It is expected that there will be action on these bills in the near future, which means if you're a New Hampshire resident, you need to take action and get involved. House Bill 109 would require background checks on commercial sales of firearms. Now, it sounds a little wonky, and it is. The bill defines commercial sale to mean a sale, transfer, or exchange of a firearm that takes place at or on the curtilage of a firearm or a gun show, or pursuant to an offer to sell, buy, transfer, or exchange a firearm that took place at a gun show, or pursuant to an advertisement, posting, listing, or display. It prohibits people from engaging in commercial sales unless they are 1. A licensed firearms dealer, 2. The purchaser is a licensed firearms dealer, or 3. The sale is completed through a licensed dealer. Notice a trend here? However, the bill contains an exception for non-commercial private sales, transfers, or exchanges between individuals, provided that neither individual is a prohibited person. Which begs the question, what effect will this have on the transfer of firearms between 2 individuals? It would seem like as long as there's no offer at a gun show, display of firearms, or ad listed, that people can continue to freely buy and sell firearms amongst themselves without having to involve a dealer. The language of the bill would imply that if you posted or responded to an ad on like a forum or social media, you'd have to go to a dealer to conduct the transaction. Yes, as I said before, it's a weird one. Penalties for violations are a Class B misdemeanor for the first offense and a Class A misdemeanor for the second or subsequent offense. House Bill 514 would impose a 7-day waiting period, excluding weekends and holidays, on the transfer of all firearms from a dealer to a person. There are several exceptions to this proposed waiting period, which include 1. The trade-in of a firearm to a licensed dealer, 2. The purchase of a rifle or shotgun by somebody who's completed the hunter safety course, or those exempt from it but hold a valid New Hampshire hunting license, and 3. When purchased by law enforcement, corrections officers, or active duty members of the armed forces. I feel like there's a snarky comment in here about people being able to get guns for hunting immediately, but not for self-defense. Something, right delayed, right denied, you know. Penalties for violations would result in a Class B felony. Finally, House Bill 564 would prohibit the carrying of firearms on school grounds, buses, or vans. However, there are some exceptions as well. The proposed bill would not apply to people picking up or dropping off students, as long as the gun remained in their vehicle, any person authorized in writing by the school board, and law enforcement, school resource officers, or members of the armed forces or National Guard while on duty. I mean, if the armed forces and National Guard are showing up to school while on duty, I bet there's other problems. Violations would be a Class A misdemeanor. As you can see, even the Live Free or Die state is starting to consider anti-gun legislation. While the stuff's rather mild compared to some of the other proposals in other states, it's entirely unacceptable. All you Free State Project people better hurry up with your moves and keep New Hampshire the land of liberty. With even the most liberty-minded states pushing gun control, what do you guys think is the best course of action to reverse this trend? Let me know down in the comments. That's it for this episode. If you learned anything from this show, help us out, hit that like button, make sure you share it around with your friends. Don't forget to get subscribed, and if you enjoyed the video, consider supporting us via the links down in the video description. And as always, thanks for watching.
Try a couple different poses, Adam. Like put the guns down like this, like like really weird looking but sad. Yeah, okay. All right. All right.
Yep, it's over, but don't worry, you can click on the video up top to watch last week's show, and the one below that is the one that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. Check them out and let me know what you think.